Hi, my name is Holly German, and this is my heart dissection for Anatomy and Physiology 2. First, I'm pointing to the base of the heart, which is located across the top of the heart, and makes up the widest part, which is also where the atriums are across this width. Really, the only use of the base of the heart is that it provides structure for the heart. On the bottom of the heart, we have the apex, which also maintains the structure of the heart. Its shape is this way because it sits below the two ventricles and creates a structure that allows for all the blood to pool all the way at the bottom of the ventricles when they are filled. Next, we have the auricle. There are two auricles on the heart, which are openings to the left and right atrium. These auricles usually receive blood from the inferior and superior vena cava on the right atrium, and left atrium receives blood from the pulmonary circuit. At the very top of the heart, the opening would be the superior vena cava, and this large vein carries deoxygenated blood from the systemic system to the right atrium of the heart. The inferior vena cava, which would be at the bottom, carries the blood from the lower half of the body, while superior vena cava carries the blood from the upper systemic of the body. Both carry deoxygenated blood. Here would be about where the arteries are, and they're blood vessels that supply oxygenated blood and nutrients to the cells and structures of the body. On the opposite side, just about where my thumb is, would be the coronary artery, which is a series of arteries outside the heart which provide nutrients and oxygenated blood to cardiac tissue of the heart. And veins are blood vessels that carry deoxygenated blood and waste products from the cells and structures back to the heart. When opening the heart, we start on the right side, which contains the right atrium, and it carries deoxygenated blood from the systemic circuit of the body and later pumps it into the right ventricle. I quickly point over to the left atrium, and after the gas exchange occurs and the deoxygenated blood is carried out from the pulmonary system, it enters the left atrium. Like the right atrium, the blood is pumped down to the ventricle. Going back over to the right atrium, we see the tricuspid valve, and when the right atrium pumps the blood down into the ventricle, it passes through an antiventricular valve called the tricuspid valve. This valve contains 3 leaflets that prevent backflow into the atrium during ventricular contraction. We also see the chordae tendineae, and this is the tissue below the tricuspid valve that connects the cusps of the valves to the papillary muscles of the ventricle. There are also papillary muscles here, and these muscles anchor the chordae tendineae to the valves. Then I point to the mitral or bicuspid valve. Similarly to the tricuspid valve, this valve prevents backflow back into the atrium because it only contains 2 leaflets compared to the other tricuspid valve. The right ventricle receives deoxygenated blood from the atrium and contains muscular myocardium that pumps the deoxygenated blood through the pulmonary circuit. The trabecula carneae are the muscles and ventricles that form branches that produce strong contractile force with each contraction of the ventricle. Then I'll be pointing to the pulmonary valve, and this semilunar valve prevents the backflow of deoxygenated blood back into the ventricle after it is pumped into the pulmonary trunk. Next, I'm putting the probe where the pulmonary trunk would be, and this is where blood passes through the large vessel and through the pulmonary arteries into the pulmonary circuit. Then I'm pointing to the left atrium, which we previously talked about. This is harder to see, but the intraventricular septum separates the ventricles and contains bundle branches and carries impulses to the ventricles. Again, more difficult to see, but the aortic semilunar valve prevents backflow to the left ventricle and after ventricular contraction. Then I'm pointing to the left ventricle, which is the most muscular ventricle, and it pumps oxygenated blood into the systemic circuit of the body. The aorta is a large artery on the heart that branches and supplies blood to the systemic system of the body. The brachiocephalic trunk is a trunk of the aorta that branches off to supply the coronary arteries with oxygenated blood. And this concludes my heart dissection for Anatomy 2.